I am back with another tier list that absolutely no one asked for. And this is ranking characters based on how likely I am to break into their house. Alright, so we have at the top living in their walls, and that's for characters where it's like, I am already there. I'm already in their house. I don't even need to break in, you know? I've been living in their walls for years now. And then next here we have, is it even breaking and entering? And these are for characters where it's like, does it even count? You know what I mean? Like, does it even count to break into their house? Like, you know what I mean? Then we have probably going to happen, and that's like, not characters that I'm going to break into their house, like, right away, you know? But I think eventually I probably would. Then we have if I had to, and these are characters where it's like, I'm not going to break into their house unless I have a very good reason. And then we have run. Pretty self-explanatory. Top, Amicus, I'm already living in his walls. Would it be easy to break into his house, heavily guarded palace on a completely alien planet? No, it wouldn't be easy. But this is not about how easy it is to break into their house. This is about how likely I am to break into their house, and I'm already living in his walls. Then we have Neferu, and like, I would love to break into his house. So I'm going to put him probably going to happen because I'm not already in his house at the moment. But it's probably going to happen at some point. And then we have Temptations, Ballad, we have Malice. I'm going to put in Run because his house is like a demonic plane of existence. I don't think I'll be breaking into there anytime soon. And if I had to go there, no, I am noping out of there immediately. Then we have Sid. I'm going to put in, is it even breaking and entering? Because he lives with his parents and they run an inn. So, yeah, does that even count? You know, I could easily, or like a food place. Like, I could easily go into their house whenever I wanted to. So, does it even count as breaking and entering? I don't think so. And then we've called her, if I had to, you know, I'm not breaking into his house anytime soon. He's like a posh noble. What am I going to do there? But if I had to, I would. But I don't want to. And then we have Marrow. I'm also going to put him in, is it even breaking and entering? Because, like, the Bonebreaker Guild does not have the best security. Like, I could just say, hey, I want to be an adventurer. And they'd be like, oh, come on in, you know? Or, oh, I'm a friend of Cole's. And they'd be like, oh, he has friends? Whoa. Yeah, so I don't think it would be that hard to do. Then we have Artemis' mom, and I'm going to put in if I had to because I think that it would not be easy to break into, like, a heavily guarded, you know, like, church of, like, the supreme god or whatever. Yes, and I think she would probably kick me out if I broke in. But if I had to break in, I would, but I wouldn't want to. All right, and then we have Clyde, and another, is it even breaking and entering? Because he literally runs a shop. Does it even count at that point? You know, I could just be like, hey, I want a sword. I want, like, your big sword or whatever. And he'd be like, oh, cool. You know, does it even count? I don't think it does. And then we have Artemis, and Artemis lives with her mom in this church. So, you know, you could be saying, like, oh, is it the same? Like, they live in the same house. But I think it's going to be different because Artemis, I'm going to put it in probably going to happen because I feel like if I tried to break in when her mom was there, she would, like, kick me out. But Artemis, I feel like, could invite me in and would be like, I need your help. Like, please come to where I live. So I think that it really depends on which person I encounter. You know, if Artemis is like, oh, I need you, yeah, it's going to happen. But if her mom was there, I'd be like, if I have to. All right, and then we have Sal, and I'm going to say probably going to happen because at least in the story of Dawntide, like, you already go to her house. Like, obviously it's Riley, it's not, you know, the reader, but I don't think that she wants people coming to her house because of her family situation, but I think if I knew her, it probably would happen eventually. And then we have Ranzo. I am already living in his walls. I think that his house is literally a boat, so I don't think it would be that hard to break into, but also he said that there was, like, security, but also Riley was able to get in. I don't think it would be that hard to break into his house, but it doesn't matter because I'm already living in his walls. Yeah. Then we have Riley. You know, I'm just realizing that Sal and Riley live together, and I base this off Riley's parents' house. Yeah. So Riley, I'm gonna say their apartment that they live together, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be that hard to get into their house. You know what I mean? They, like, live in a like, bad apartment. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be that hard. Enough said. We've Chunter. I think I'm gonna say if I had to. I don't really know where he lives, to be honest. But it's probably not that hard to break into. But do I want to? I don't think I want to break into his house. I don't think I do. But if I had to. Then we have Carl and another living in their walls. Like, also the fact that, like, over the story of Echo, you literally, like, break into his house for the birthday party or whatever. He's not, like, answering the door. So, again, it could be, is it even breaking and entering? Because, I mean, I guess you literally break and enter into his house. But you kind of have to do it for the story. That being said, I'm already in his walls, you know, probably in his basement crawl space, if we're being honest, which is not a great place to be, but I'm already there. So, yeah. Then we have Leo. I think it's, you know, I'm going to put in, is it even breaking and entering? Because I feel like his house doesn't have the best security. You know what I mean? He's like in a trailer or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good security. You know what I mean? It doesn't even count. I don't think it counts. Like, he might shoot me with, you know, like, if I tried to break into his house, yeah, he'd probably shoot me. But I don't think it'd be that hard to break in. So that's my opinion. Then we have Brian. Run. Just run. You know what I mean? Like, go the other way. Not gonna happen. No, thank you. Then we have Flynn. Again, this is another character that, like, you literally go to his house. So does it even count at that point? But I think that it's gonna be probably gonna happen. Because, you know what, actually it's going to be if I had to, because I feel like Flynn is not going to just invite me back to his house. It would have to be for a specific reason. So I think it's going to be in that tier because, you know, now I'm debating that. I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to put it there because if I had to go to his house, I would. But I think it's just not something that I would do on my own. And I think if he didn't invite me there, I would be a little nervous just, like, breaking into his house without his permission because I think he'd probably beat me up or something, you know? Then we have Damien. Like, he lives in, like, a college dorm, doesn't he? I'm going to say, is it even breaking and entering? You know, I could be wrong about that because he's a grad student or whatever. But he's, like, on a college campus, right? Again, I could be wrong. But I'm just going to put it there because that's what I remember of this story. Cooper. I think I'm going to say if I had to. You know, I'm not quite living in his walls. And his house, you have to, like, teleport to. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, isn't it in the middle of nowhere and he has to use this, like, axiom or whatever to teleport there? So I think it would be pretty hard to break into his house. Yeah, and I don't think I'd want to because there's, like, no power or water. You know what I mean? Like, why would I break into his house? But if I had to, I would. You know, you feel me? All right, yeah, so these are characters based on whether or not I'd break into their house.